Maya stood in the empty parking lot and felt cold inside. Not from the winter air. From something deeper. Her husband Victor was gone. That's what everyone said. The accident was bad. Very bad. The car went into the lake. They never found him. The funeral man told her. "We cannot show you anything, Mrs. Chen. The water, the damage, it's too much. Better to remember the good times." Maya nodded because she didn't know what else to do. Now, 3 weeks later, she wondered if any of it was real. Victor's sister Portia cried at the memorial service. Big loud cries that made everyone look. Portia pointed at Maya with anger in her eyes. "This is because of you. You made him sad. He worked so hard and you never helped. You just stayed home and took everything." Maya said nothing. What could she say? For 8 years she was a good wife. She cleaned. She cooked. She waited for Victor to come home. Maya had a nursing certificate, but Victor said no. "Stay home," he said. "We don't need your small paycheck. I make enough money." Victor's cousin Bernard stood far away with his arms crossed. His beard was thick and gray. He looked at Maya like she did something wrong. Bernard never liked her. He thought Victor should have married someone else. Someone richer. Someone from his own family's country. Now Bernard stared at her like she pushed Victor into that lake herself. The neighbors whispered behind their hands. Rosa from next door hugged Maya and said, "Be strong, honey. I'm here if you need me." Maya wanted to say thank you, but her throat felt stuck. They put flowers in the lake where Victor's car went down. Portia fell on the ground crying. Bernard walked to his truck without saying goodbye. Maya stayed by the water long after everyone left. The wind was cold. It made her eyes water. She looked at the dark lake and thought, "Why don't I feel anything? Why can't I cry?" 5 days after the memorial, 2 men knocked on her door. Maya opened it and saw them in suits. One was tall with a square face. The other was short and held papers. "Maya Chen," the tall one said. "Yes. We're from the bank. You need to see these papers." Maya let them inside even though something felt wrong. They put papers on her kitchen table. "Your husband Victor Chen took money from different banks. He owes $150,000. When someone dies, their wife has to pay. See, this is your name right here." Maya looked at the papers. The writing looked like hers, but she didn't remember signing anything like this. "I didn't sign these," she said. Her voice shook. "You have 30 days to pay," the short man said. His voice was mean. "If you don't pay, we will take your house and everything you own." When they left, Maya sat on the floor and put her head in her hands. $150,000. Where would she get that much money? Victor always said everything was fine. He said they had plenty. Now he was gone and she had this huge problem. She called her mom in Seattle. "Mama, something bad happened." Her voice broke. "What is it, baby?" her mom asked. Maya told her everything. Her mom was quiet for a long time. Then she said, "Baby, I told you not to depend on a man like that. But I don't have that kind of money. I only get my small check each month." Maya's brother James called an hour later. "Maya, I can help a little. But I got 3 kids and a wife. I can maybe give you $800. That's all I got." "Thank you, James," Maya whispered. $800 against $150,000. It was like putting a band-aid on a broken leg. Maya had to sell her house. It was small, but it was hers. Or she thought it was hers. The house sold fast, but the money only covered part of what she owed. She still owed more than she could ever pay. She moved into a tiny room in an old building downtown. The room was only big enough for a bed and a small table. She shared the bathroom with 5 other people. Her neighbors were people who worked all day and night just to pay rent. Maya looked for work everywhere. Schools said no because she hadn't worked in 8 years. Stores said no. Restaurants said no. Then she saw a sign taped to a wall. "Help wanted. Gas station. Night shift. No experience needed." She went to talk to them. The manager was an older man with tired eyes. "Can you work hard?" he asked. "Yes," Maya said. Okay. Start tomorrow night. 6 at night to 6 in the morning. The gas station was near the highway outside the city. Wind blew all the time there. It was always cold. Maya started her first night in November. A woman named Gladys showed her what to do. Gladys was about 60 with gray hair and sharp eyes. Listen good, Chen, she said. People will be rude. Don't fight them, but don't let them walk on you either. And stay busy. See those cars coming. Get moving. The first week was terrible. Maya's hands smelled like gas. Her feet hurt. Her head hurt from being tired. People yelled at her. She wanted to cry, but she didn't. 2 other people worked with her. One was Pearl, a woman who talked too much. She made comments about every customer. Look at that one. Fancy car, but he's cheap as dirt. The other was Sam, a young man going to college. He didn't talk much, but one time when Maya couldn't lift something heavy, he came over and helped without saying a word. Thank you, she told him. He just nodded and walked away. 2 months went by. Maya got used to the cold and the tired feeling. She learned to turn off her feelings and just do the work. The bank people didn't leave her alone. They called every day. They sent messages. They showed up at her work sometimes. One Friday night near closing time, Maya was thinking about going back to her tiny room when a black car pulled up to the pump. 2 men got out. It was the same 2 men from before. Squareface and Paperman Chen. The tall one yelled. We finally found you. Gladys looked out from the booth. Who are they? Bill collectors, Maya whispered. You better not start trouble here, Gladys yelled at them. We're just talking, the man said. They walked up to Maya. Her hands started shaking. You think we forgot about you, the tall one said. You think hiding here makes the money disappear? I'm working. I'll pay what I can, Maya said. You're paying pennies. We need real money. I don't have more. You'll find it. Borrow it. Deal it. We don't care. But if we don't get $3,000 in 2 weeks, we're going to court. They'll take everything. They left. Maya stood there frozen. Gladys came over and touched her shoulder. Hold on, girl. Sometimes you gotta survive worse than this. A week later, something happened that changed everything. It was Saturday. The sky was gray. Maya was helping a customer when a shiny black car pulled in. It was expensive. A Mercedes. She could tell by the shape. A young man in a suit got out from the driver's seat. Then a tall black man about 40 got out of the back. He wore a nice coat. His face was serious. He looked tired. He took out his phone and called someone. Maya heard pieces of the conversation. Yes, I know we're late. I'll try again. He hung up and told the driver. Kobe, we need to hurry. The driver nodded. The man leaned against the car and closed his eyes. Sam started filling the gas tank. Maya stepped back to give them space. Her phone rang. Unknown number again. Yes. Chin. We want the money. I can't right now. We don't care. Time's up. Please, 1 more week. I'll find something. No more weeks. Pay now or we go to court. The voice was hard and mean. Maya felt tears coming. She turned away so nobody would see her face. Please, she said softly. She didn't know the man in the coat was watching her. He heard how upset she sounded. He saw how tight she held the phone. When she hung up and turned around, he was standing near her. Their eyes met. In his eyes she saw something strange. Not feeling sorry for her. Something else. Excuse me, he said calmly. I need your help. Maya looked at him confused. In 2 hours I have an important dinner meeting. I need you to pretend to be my wife. What? Maya said. She thought she heard wrong. I need a wife for 1 evening. Just for a business dinner. I will pay you $3,000 right now. In cash. $3,000. That was exactly what the collectors wanted. I can't, Maya said. This is crazy. I know it sounds strange, but I don't have time to explain. I need your answer now. He gave her a card. Marcus Stone. Business owner. It's just dinner, he said. Nothing bad. Just sit next to me and smile. That's all. Maya looked at the card. $3,000. She could stop the collectors for another month. Maybe longer. Okay, she heard herself say. I'll do it. Marcus nodded like he knew she would say yes. Good. What's your name? Maya. Kobe, open the back. The driver opened the trunk. Inside was a dress, shoes, and a small purse. All brand new. Is this for me? Maya asked. Yes, Marcus said. I've been to 4 gas stations tonight looking for someone right. Not too young. Not too flashy. Someone real. You're perfect. A cold feeling went through Maya. He planned this. He was ready. Go change. We don't have much time. Maya ran to the bathroom at the gas station. The dress was dark blue and fit her perfectly. It was beautiful and simple. The shoes were comfortable. The makeup inside the bag had colors that matched her skin. She washed her face, put on a little makeup, and fixed her hair. When she looked in the mirror, she didn't know the woman looking back. She wasn't a tired gas station worker anymore. She was someone else. Someone confident and pretty. She got in the car. Marcus sat next to her. Kobe started driving. Listen carefully, Marcus said. We are Marcus and Maya Stone. Married for 8 years. We met at a work event in Seattle. We don't have kids. You used to work at a hospital. Now you stay home. You like reading and old movies. You don't like loud parties. We just came back from visiting France. We went to Paris. Say it back to me. Maya repeated everything. Marcus nodded. They practiced the whole drive. Marcus was tough but patient. He asked questions. He corrected her. He asked again. By the time they got to the restaurant, Maya almost believed she really had been married to him for 8 years. Very good, Marcus said. You remember things fast. Thank you. The restaurant was fancy. It was in the tall buildings downtown. High ceilings, shiny lights, waiters in black and white clothes. Maya held onto Marcus's arm. He squeezed her hand softly. Relax, he whispered. You look beautiful. Just smile and talk a little. They walked to the table. 2 people were waiting. A man and a woman, both about 50. Expensive clothes. They looked important. The Harringtons, Marcus whispered to Maya. She smiled and shook their hands. She listened. They talked about business. About money. About plans. Maya spoke a little. Just enough. She tried to look calm and sure of herself. Then she saw him. Across the room by the window. He had a beard now. And glasses. And his hair was different. But she knew him right away. Victor. Her husband. The man she thought was dead. The man who supposedly drowned in a car in the lake. He was alive. Sitting with a beautiful woman. Laughing. Holding her hand. Kissing her cheek. Maya felt frozen. Her skin went cold. Everything went blurry. She couldn't hear anything. She only saw Victor. Happy. Relaxed. Alive. Marcus leaned toward her. Maya, sweetheart, are you okay? She couldn't speak. Honey, can you walk with me for a minute? Of course. Excuse us. We'll be right back, Marcus told the couple. They walked down a hallway where nobody could see them. Maya was breathing fast and hard. That man, she whispered. He's my husband. Marcus frowned. What? The one by the window. That's Victor. He's supposed to be dead. I had a memorial service for him 6 weeks ago. Marcus looked toward the dining room carefully. Then he looked back at Maya. Are you sure? I'm absolutely sure. I lived with him for 8 years. I know his face anywhere. The beard and glasses are fake. But it's him. Marcus was quiet for a few seconds. His face didn't change, but something cold appeared in his eyes. Then he said quietly, We need to talk. A serious talk. Maya nodded. She looked back at Victor. He raised his glass and smiled at the woman. He didn't see Maya. He didn't even look her way. Maya made herself stand up straight. Marcus was right. First they had to finish dinner. Play the part. 'Cause now Maya had a goal. She knew what she had to do. She would prove Victor was alive. She would make him pay for every lie. For every night she couldn't sleep. For every tear. For every moment of fear. Maya took Marcus's arm and walked back to the table like nothing happened. She sat down, smiled, raised her glass and said calmly, "To new friends." Marcus looked at her with surprise and respect. He raised his glass too. The dinner went on for another hour. Maya sat up straight. She smiled and talked. Inside she was boiling. But outside she stayed calm. Even pretty. Marcus looked at her sometimes with surprise and interest. She played her part perfectly. Like she was born to be the wife of a successful man. Marcus's partners, Gerald and Beth Harrington, talked about business deals. Maya joined in with short, smart comments. She asked questions. She felt like her being there mattered. The Harringtons seemed happy that Marcus brought his wife. It made him look stable and trustworthy. Beth smiled at Maya. "You must be tired of all this business talk." "No, not at all," Maya smiled back. "I think it's interesting. Besides, Marcus never talks about work at home. It's nice to hear the details." Beth laughed. "My Gerald is the same way. Very quiet about work." Gerald smiled and nodded. Victor was still in the corner. Maya tried not to look at him. But from the side of her eye, she watched him. He was entertaining the woman he was with. She was maybe 45. Dressed perfectly. Expensive jewelry. She laughed loud. She touched his arm. She leaned close to him. Victor looked happy. Relaxed. Not guilty at all. Not scared at all. Finally the dinner ended. The Harringtons said goodbye. They said they would call on Monday. Marcus walked them to the door while Maya stayed at the table. She looked down at her phone pretending to type. Victor stood up. He helped the woman with her coat. They walked toward the door. When they passed Maya's table, Victor didn't even look at her. He didn't recognize her. She was just some random woman at a restaurant. Maya watched him leave. When the door closed, she let out her breath. Marcus came back and sat across from her. "Now tell me everything," he said in a low, firm voice. Maya nodded. She focused and started speaking calmly. Piece by piece. No crying. No yelling. She told him about being married to Victor. How he made her stay home and not work. How he controlled all the money. How 6 weeks ago they told her he died in a car accident. The closed memorial. The flowers. The debts. $150,000, she said. "I didn't know about any of it. But my name is on the papers. The writing looks like mine. Maybe he gave me family papers to sign and I didn't read them. I trusted him. I sold my house. I moved to a tiny room. I started working at the gas station. But it's not enough. The collectors hunt me every day." Marcus listened without interrupting. When she finished, he stayed quiet for a moment. Then he asked, "You're absolutely sure it's him?" "Yes. I lived with him for 8 years. I would know him anywhere. The beard and glasses are a good disguise. But it's him." Marcus was quiet again. "This is a very serious crime. Fake death papers. Pretending to die. Stealing money." "I know," Maya said quietly. "But how do I prove it? Who will believe me? I'm just a poor gas station worker with debt. On paper he's dead." Marcus looked at her hard. "Do you want me to help you?" "Yes." "Why should I?" Maya looked back at him. "Because you're a fair person. At least you seem like one." Marcus was silent. He studied her face. He was testing how strong she was. "You're right," he said finally. "I don't like unfairness. But helping with this is serious. Costs time and money. There are risks." "I understand," Maya said. "That's why I'm not asking for charity. I want to make a deal." Marcus raised his eyebrows. "What kind of deal?" "Keep your $3,000 for tonight. In exchange, help me prove Victor is alive. Get the right people involved. When everything is fixed, when the debts go back to his name, I'll pay you back. I'll work for your company for free if I have to. For as long as it takes. Marcus smiled a little. You really think your work will cover a lawyer and a detective? No, Maya said honestly. I don't. But it's all I can offer. I'm not asking for a handout. I'm asking for a chance. Marcus was quiet. Then he took out his phone and called someone. Lisa, move tomorrow's meeting to Tuesday. And find me the number for Isaac Walsh. The lawyer. It's urgent. Thanks. He put the phone away and looked at Maya. If we do this, we go all the way. No drama. No breaking down. Are you ready? I am, Maya said firmly. Good. We start tomorrow. I also know a detective. Used to be police. Good man. He'll find information. The lawyer will prepare the legal stuff. But the main work is yours. You need to remember everything about your husband. Everything that might help. I'll remember, Maya promised. Marcus nodded. He called the waiter and paid. They left the restaurant. Outside it was cool. A light wind blew. Kobe was waiting by the car. Now we take you home, Marcus said. Yes, please, Maya said. They rode without talking. Maya looked out the window. She thought about what just happened. This morning she was at a freezing gas station. Now she was in a fancy car with a man who offered to help her. You did very well tonight, Marcus said suddenly. The Harringtons liked you. I think the deal will go through. Thank you, Maya said softly. You have good instincts. You knew when to speak and when to be quiet. That's rare. Maya didn't know what to say. The car stopped in front of her old building. The paint was peeling. The walls were dirty. Here, Maya said. Marcus looked at the sad building. Tomorrow at 10 in the morning, come to this address. He gave her another card. It's my office. We'll meet with the lawyer. Okay, Maya took the card. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. Get some sleep, Maya. Good night. She got out and went up to her room. She changed clothes and sat on the bed. Only then did she understand everything that happened. Victor was alive. He tricked her. He left her with debts. And now he was living with another woman. A rich woman. Perfectly groomed. Maya lay down and closed her eyes. She was so tired. But she couldn't sleep. Images mixed together. Victor at the restaurant. His smile. His hand on that woman's shoulder. The memorial service. The collectors. The gas station. She turned over and hugged her pillow. She had to sleep. She wouldn't cry. She wouldn't feel sorry for herself. She would fight. In the morning Maya woke up early. She showered in the shared bathroom. She put on black pants and a clean shirt. She looked in the mirror. Ill. Beaten down. But determined. She took the bus downtown. She found the building. Modern. Glass everywhere. She went up to the 7th floor. The door had a sign. Stone Solutions. Import and supply. She walked in. A woman at the desk smiled. You must be Maya. Mr. Stone is waiting. Go right in, please. She took Maya to a big office. Marcus was sitting at a desk. Next to him was a man about 55. Gray hair. Glasses. Papers in his hand. Maya, Marcus stood up. This is Isaac Walsh. Attorney. He'll take your case. Walsh shook her hand. Nice to meet you. Marcus told me the basics. But I need all the details. Sit down. Maya sat. The lawyer opened a notebook and took out a pen. Tell me everything from the beginning. In order. Maya talked for over an hour. Walsh asked exact questions. He wrote notes. Sometimes he frowned. When Maya finished, he shook his head. This situation is complicated. But I'll handle it, he said. First we get all the loan papers. Second we request the full file about your husband's death. Third we look for witnesses who saw him alive after he supposedly died. Fourth we check the signatures on the contracts. How do we prove the man at the restaurant is my husband? Maya asked. Photos. Videos. Witnesses. But that's not enough. We need identification. Fingerprints. DNA. For that we need the police. And will they believe us? Walsh smiled a crooked smile. If we bring them proof, yes. Police don't like being fooled. Faking death is very serious. Marcus spoke up. Isaac, how much time to prepare? About 2 weeks to gather documents and basic information. Then we file the complaint. After that, it depends how fast they move. Good. Start. I'll cover all costs. The lawyer nodded and gathered his papers. Maya, I'll call you in a few days. I'll prepare questions. And another thing. Try to remember everything about your husband. Habits, friends, places he went. Anything could help. Okay, Maya promised. Walsh left. Marcus poured coffee and gave one to Maya. She took it. There's something else, Marcus said. I already called a detective. He's coming this afternoon. Simon Gray. Used to be a police inspector. Smart. Experienced. Careful. If your husband is anywhere around, Gray will find him. Thank you, Maya said. She felt a tiny bit of hope for the first time in so long. Don't thank me yet, Marcus smiled. The work just started. That afternoon Maya came back to the office. Simon Gray was a man about 60. Big and strong. Sharp dark eyes. Voice. He listened to her story. He asked short direct questions. Do you have photos of your husband? He asked. Yes. On my phone. Maya showed him several. Gray studied them carefully. He asked her to send them to him. Beard and glasses can change a face. But not completely, he said. The shape of the head, the ears, eyes, those can't be disguised. Describe the woman who was with him. Maya described her. Very polished. Expensive jewelry. Confident. So a woman with money, Gray thought out loud. He's probably living off her. That makes it easier. There aren't many women like that. I'll check my contacts. Salons. Restaurants. People know them everywhere. And then, Maya asked, then I find out where they live. I watch them. Gather proof. Photos. Videos. Then we go to the lawyer and the police. It all sounded simple. Logical. But Maya knew it would be harder in real life. Simon, what if he finds out we're following him? He won't, the detective said calmly. I've been doing this for 30 years. If people noticed me, I'd be out of work long ago. Marcus walked Gray to the door and came back. You're tired, he told Maya. Go home. Rest. Tomorrow I'll call and tell you what's new. Maya nodded. She was truly exhausted. But a small flame burned inside her. She wasn't alone anymore. Now she had help. 3 days passed. Gray called on Wednesday afternoon. Got him, he said simply. The woman is named Catherine Parks. 46 years old. Owns a chain of hair salons. 3 locations in the city. Good money. Lives in a fancy condo downtown. Living with her is a man who calls himself Victor Chan. Yes, he changed 1 letter in the last name. No official papers exist with his name. Seems like he avoids paperwork. Drives her car. Bends her money. Classic situation. Maya listened, holding the phone tight. Are you sure it's him? I took photos. Sending them now. A minute later the pictures came. Victor leaving the building. Getting in the car. Victor at a coffee shop with Catherine. Victor at a grocery store. Without the beard he would look exactly the same. It's him, Maya whispered. Then we move forward, Gray said. I'll gather more evidence. In 1 week we'll have everything we need. Maya told Marcus. He listened and nodded. Good. Walsh already asked for the case file. Should come tomorrow. Then we start the official part. The next day the lawyer called Marcus and asked him to come to his office. Maya was invited too. On the desk was a thick folder. The file about the death of Victor Chen, Walsh said. I read it all. And there's something very interesting. No DNA test was done. The body was identified by clothes and wallet and by witness statements. That's yours, Maya. And your sister-in-law's. But I didn't see the body, Maya said. The box was closed. Exactly, the lawyer nodded. The report says you confirmed the identity based on clothes and personal items. Pure formality. Lazy work. The detective who handled the case retired already. Probably didn't want to make his life hard. Closed it fast. So nobody checked if it was really Victor. Marcus frowned. Nobody. And now look at this. The day before the supposed accident, a homeless man disappeared in the city. A man about the same age and size as Victor. They looked for him. Didn't find him. Case closed. Maya felt ice in her stomach. You think? I think your husband planned everything very carefully, Walsh said seriously. He found someone who looked right. Lured him. Killed him. Or just used his dead body. Dressed him in his clothes. Put his wallet on him. Caused the accident. And there you go. Victor Chen officially dead. Maya covered her face. It was horrible. Victor might have killed someone. Why? To run from debts. For that woman. And now what? Marcus asked. Now we go to police, the lawyer said firmly. With all this. With Gray's photos. With Maya's complaint. We demand they open a criminal case. Fake documents. Fraud. Maybe even murder. Maya looked up. I'm ready, she said. I'll go and report it. Marcus looked at her with respect. Then first thing tomorrow. I'll go with you. Walsh nodded. Me too. Together they'll pay more attention. Maya left the office feeling like she was standing on the edge of a cliff. Tomorrow a real war would start. But she wasn't afraid. She was ready. The morning came cold and gray. Maya woke up early. She stood in the shower a long time trying to calm down. Today she would go to police. Today she would officially say her husband was alive. That he tricked everyone. That he might have killed someone. She dressed in her best clothes. The dark gray suit she bought before Victor's supposed death. Back then she thought her life would have important events. There weren't any. Until today. Marcus sent the car. Kobe took her to the office. From there the three of them left for the Chicago police station. The building was gray and big. Inside were blue walls and old floors. Walsh walked confidently to the front desk. He introduced himself. Asked to speak with a detective. The officer, a young man, looked at them curiously. What's this about? A complaint for fake documents and possible murder, Walsh said clearly. The officer sat up straight. Have a seat. I'll get an investigator. They waited about 20 minutes. Then a black woman about 40 came out. Brown eyes. Perfect uniform. Short natural hair. Detective Lauren Cross. Follow me. The office was small. Full of cabinets and shelves with files. Cross sat behind the desk and pointed to chairs. I'm listening. Maya started talking. She told the story calmly. In order. Not leaving out details. The detective listened. Asked questions sometimes. Wrote notes. When Maya finished, Cross said, These are very serious accusations. Do you have proof? Walsh put a folder on the desk. Documents. Gray's photos. The death file. Here's the original file. As you see, no DNA test was done. The body identification was just a formality. And here, he pointed to photos, pictures of the man pretending to be another person, but keeping the same first name and almost the same last name. Chan instead of Chen. And this is data about a homeless man who went missing the day before the supposed accident. Cross looked at the papers carefully. Her face stayed neutral. But Maya saw sharp interest in her eyes. You're claiming your husband faked his death using another man's body? Yes, Maya said firmly. And that he's now living with another woman. Hiding from creditors and the law. Including me. Cross looked at Marcus. And you are. Witness, Marcus said calmly. I saw this man at a restaurant. Maya identified him as her husband. I decided to help her. Why? I don't like people being cheated. The detective tapped the desk gently with her pen, thinking, all right, I'll take the complaint. I'll open a preliminary investigation. If your words check out, we'll start criminal proceedings. But I warn you, if you're lying about a person, the consequences are serious. I'm not lying, Maya said firmly. I'm telling the truth. We'll see. Cross started filling out forms. Maya signed the complaint. Walsh left his contact information. Marcus too. Within 1 week we'll do the necessary checks, the detective said. I'll contact you. They left the building. Maya felt her legs go weak. Marcus held her arm. You did very well, he said. You were perfect. Thank you, she whispered. Walsh nodded. Cross is good. She won't ignore this. Now we wait. They had to wait 6 days. Maya went back to work at the gas station. Gladys in the end forgave the sudden disappearance and took her back. Pearl of course couldn't stop being curious. Where'd you go that day with the rich guy? I had things to handle, Maya said shortly. What things? Pearl pushed. My things. Gladys raised her voice. Pearl, mind your own business. Pearl made a face but shut up. Sam gave Maya several thoughtful looks those days. Once he came over when they were alone. You got problems. I did. Hope it works out soon. If you need anything, let me know. Maybe I can help. Thanks, Sam, Maya smiled. He nodded and walked away. Good kid. Wish there were more like him. On the 7th day, Detective Cross called. Maya, come to the station. We have news. Maya rushed to headquarters. Cross met her with a serious face. We ran the check. We reviewed the file. We questioned witnesses. We verified information about the missing homeless man. We also identified the woman living with the man calling himself Victor Chon. Catherine Parks, business owner. According to her own words, she met him 7 months ago. He introduced himself as Victor Chen, entrepreneur. And then, Maya barely breathed. Then we requested to dig up the body buried under Victor Chen's name. Maya's breath caught. Dig it up. Yes, we have to do a DNA test. If your husband isn't in that grave, we open the criminal case. The process takes time, but it's necessary. Maya nodded. The idea of opening the grave was horrible, but there was no other way. Also, Cross continued, we've put watch on Victor Chon. We'll ask him to come testify as a supposed witness in another investigation. During the interview, we'll take his fingerprints. We'll compare them with the ones on record for your husband. He has a passport, so his prints are in the system. And if he refuses to come, that's already suspicious. For now we act like we know nothing. Simple routine. Maya felt hope growing. When will it be? Tomorrow. I'll tell you as soon as I have results. The next day felt endless. Maya couldn't focus on work. Gladys scolded her several times. Pearl tried to pry again. Maya stayed quiet. Cross called at dusk. Maya, the prints match. The man living with Parks under the name Victor Chon is your husband. And we already have the DNA from the grave. The body is not Victor Chen. It's the missing homeless man. Rufus Lee. Maya fell into a chair. So it was true. All true. And now what? She asked. Now we open a criminal case. Crimes include fake documents, fraud, and murder. Tomorrow morning we arrest him. You'll have to give an official statement. I'll be there, Maya said firmly. She called Marcus and told him everything. He listened and was quiet for a moment. So it's confirmed. Congratulations. You've been very brave, Maya. Thanks to you, she said honestly. Without your help, I wouldn't have made it. Nonsense. You would have done it anyway. Just would have taken longer. The next morning Maya returned to the station. Cross met her with several officers. We're going to make the arrest, she explained. You can come with us or wait here. I'm coming with you, Maya said without hesitation. They left in 3 cars. Catherine Parks's home was in a fancy neighborhood. A fence, perfect grass, expensive security. The officers rang the bell. Catherine herself opened the gate. Polished, wearing an expensive robe. When she saw the police, her face went white. What's happening? Catherine Parks. We need to speak with Victor Chen. Or Chon as he calls himself now. Is he home? Yes, but what's going on? Open up, please. Catherine opened the gate. The police went in. Maya stayed in the car, but she could see everything through the open door. Victor came out of a room. He was wearing house clothes. No shoes. When he saw the officers, he froze. "Victor Chen?" asked the lead officer. "I'm Chan. What's wrong?" "You're under arrest for suspected document forgery and fraud. You have the right to." "What?" Victor turned white. "What forgery? What are you talking about?" "Faking your own death." Victor stepped back. His face twisted in fear. "I don't understand." "What?" "Yes, you do. Come with us." Catherine screamed. "Victor, what's happening? What death are they talking about?" He turned toward her, opened his mouth, but said nothing. The officers put handcuffs on him and took him away. Catherine tried to follow, but one of the police stopped her. "Ma'am, calm down. Everything will be explained." Maya watched them put Victor in the police car. He lifted his head and suddenly saw her. Their eyes met. In his eyes was panic, confusion. She looked at him calmly. No hate, no happiness. She just looked at him. The car started. They took Victor away. Cross walked over to Maya. "Now the investigation begins. You'll have to testify. Take part in meetings. Are you ready?" "Yes," Maya said. "I'm ready." And she truly was. Ready to go through all of it. Because now she knew the truth would come out. Victor would answer for everything he did. And she would get her life back. The investigation started. Victor was taken to jail and given a lawyer. Maya was called almost every day to answer questions. Over and over she told the same story. How she lived with Victor. How he made her stay home and not work. How suddenly she was told he died. How she had a memorial. How she got stuck with his debts. Detective Cross worked with care and toughness. She asked for all bank papers. She looked at each supposed signature of Maya on the loan papers. She called in a handwriting expert. "Maya," the detective said when she got the results, "the signatures on the papers are fake. The expert confirmed it's a copy of your handwriting but done by another hand. Most likely your husband." Maya closed her eyes. So he forged her signature. Took loans in her name. Planned it all ahead of time. And the collectors said the signature was real. "He wanted to dump the debts on you," she whispered. "Exactly," Cross nodded. "He took the loans knowing he would disappear. He put your name too so that when he died the banks would come for you. Classic fraud." "And what about that man? The homeless man?" The detective's face got dark. "Rufus Lee. 50 years old. Used to work construction. Ended up on the streets because of drinking. According to witnesses, 3 days before the accident they saw him with a stranger. That man invited him to drink. Talked to him. Then Lee disappeared. Next day was the supposed accident. Victor killed him. That's what we're figuring out. But the first medical report says Lee died before the accident. Cause of death, poisoning from bad alcohol. It's possible your husband purposely gave him a poisoned bottle. Waited for him to die. Dressed him in his clothes. Put his wallet on him. Caused the crash." Maya felt sick. Victor had killed a man. Cold. Calculating. For money. For a new life with his girlfriend. "What can he get?" she asked. "Murder. Fraud. Forgery. If we prove it all, at least 12 years. The meeting with Victor was set for a week later. Maya prepared but was still nervous. She hadn't seen him since they took him from Catherine's house. They brought them into the detective's office through different doors. Victor looked terrible. Unshaven. Wearing the jail uniform. When he saw Maya he flinched. "Sit down," Cross ordered. "Mr. Chen, do you admit you faked your own death?" Victor stayed silent. His lawyer, a young man who looked nervous, leaned toward him and whispered something. "I refuse to answer," Victor said in a rough voice. "Fine. Then we'll take Maya's statement." Cross looked at Maya. "Tell us about your life together." Maya started speaking. She told it calmly, without emotion. How Victor made her not work. How he controlled all the money. How he was often gone saying he was on business trips. How right before the fake death he became nervous and mean. Victor listened without looking up. Did you know about his relationship with Catherine Parks? Cross asked. No. I found out about her that night at the restaurant. Mr. Chen. The detective turned to him. Do you want to say something? He raised his head. In his eyes was despair. Maya, he said in a broken voice. Forgive me. I didn't mean to. I got into trouble. Debts were growing and I couldn't handle it. Catherine offered to help, but only if I was free. And that's why you decided to die? Maya asked quietly. And hang your debts on me? I thought you'd manage. You have a degree. You could find work. 8 years you kept me at home because you wanted it. What work, Victor? He lowered his head again. I didn't think it would turn out like this. You killed a man, Victor. You killed him to fake your death. No. He stood up suddenly. I didn't kill him. He died on his own. I just used it. Sit down, Cross said coldly. Explain better. Victor slumped in the chair, breathing hard. I was looking for someone similar to me. Height and size. I found that guy Lee. I started talking to him. He agreed to drink with me. I gave him the bottle. I didn't know it was bad liquor. I really bought it from some street people. I thought it was regular cheap stuff. He drank and in an hour he was dead. Got scared. I didn't know what to do. Then I realized it was my chance. I changed his clothes, put my wallet on him, put him in my car, pushed it into the lake, set it on fire. Maya listened in shock. He told it so casually, like talking about a normal problem. Do you understand what you did? She asked. I understand, he looked at her. But I had no choice. There's always a choice. You didn't have 150,000 in debt, he yelled suddenly. You don't know what that's like. I know exactly what it's like to live with those debts, Maya said hard. Because you left them to me. And you lived like a king with your rich girlfriend. Victor lowered his head again. Cross stopped the recording. Enough for today. The meeting is over. After that meeting, Maya felt empty. She went back to the boarding house, lay on the bed, and cried all evening. Not from feeling sorry for herself. Not from being angry. She cried realizing she spent 8 years next to a man she never really knew. A man who could kill. Marcus called her that night. Maya, how are you? Fine, she lied. You're not fine. I can hear it in your voice. Come to the office tomorrow. We need to talk. About what? About your future. The next day, Maya went to Marcus's company. He met her with Lisa Hayes, the head of human resources. Lisa was a woman about 50, kind with a soft voice. Maya, Marcus started. The investigation is going forward. The case is basically proven. The trial will be soon. Your husband will go to prison. The debts will go back to his name. You'll be free. But what about after? What do you mean? Maya asked carefully. After you're going to need a job. Real job. I want to offer you a position in my company. Maya looked at him surprised. I'd love to, but I don't know how to do anything except. You know much more than you think, Marcus interrupted. That night at the restaurant you proved you're smart, focused, able to adapt fast. That's very valuable. Lisa is ready to hire you as an office assistant. Good salary, benefits, room to grow. Lisa nodded. We'll teach you everything you need. Don't worry. Maya didn't know what to say. Suddenly her eyes filled with tears. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you so much. Don't thank us, Marcus smiled. You'll earn every dollar. I'm a tough boss. Maya laughed through her tears. I'm not scared of tough as long as it's fair. A month later was the trial. The prosecutor read the charges. Witnesses came through. Portia, Victor's sister, cried in the courtroom. Happy her brother was alive but devastated he would spend years in prison. She went back to blaming everything on Maya. Bernard stayed serious. Never looked up. Catherine Parks also testified. She was shaken. It turned out Victor had presented himself as a successful businessman recently widowed. She believed him, gave him money for his projects, planned to open a joint business. I didn't know anything, she repeated. I thought he was an honest man. Maya looked at her without anger. Catherine was also a victim, just a richer one. Victor sat at the defendant's table. Bill. When the judge read the sentence, he didn't move. This court finds the defendant guilty of the crimes of murder, fraud, and document forgery. He is sentenced to 13 years in prison. All debt obligations in the name of Maya Chen are cancelled. The full debt is transferred to Victor Chen. Maya let out her breath. It was over. She was free. They took Victor away. At the door he turned and looked at her. In his look was begging, regret. But it was too late. Portia ran toward Maya. You destroyed him. He destroyed himself, Maya said. Calm down. Bernard pulled gently on his cousin's arm. Let's go, Portia. Enough. They left. Maya stayed a moment in the almost empty room. Marcus came over and put a hand on her shoulder. Congratulations. You won. I didn't win, she said quietly. I just put things back where they should be. With your help. That is winning. They left the courthouse. Outside the sun was shining bright. Smelled like spring. Maya lifted her face to the sky and closed her eyes. And now what are you going to do? Marcus asked. Live, she smiled. Just live. 3 months passed. Maya moved from the boarding house to a small apartment she rented. 1 bedroom not far from the office. Simple but hers. She bought furniture little by little. Couch, table, bookshelf. She hung light curtains on the windows. For the first time in a long time she felt that space was truly hers. Work at Marcus's company turned out to be interesting and busy. The first few weeks were hard. Maya learned to handle papers, work with computers, get used to office life. Lisa trained her with patience but high standards. Maya, there's a mistake here, she would say, pointing to a document. Look closer. In our work there are no small details. Maya fixed it, learned, remembered. Little by little the mistakes got smaller. After a month Lisa praised her for the first time. Not bad. You learn fast. The co-workers received her in different ways. David Park, head of legal, was polite and correct. Angela, the financial analyst, watched her with doubt at first, but gradually softened seeing Maya worked seriously. Lisa looked after her like a daughter, often brought her homemade banana bread. Eat, she'd say. You're too skinny. Need to build your strength back. Maya smiled gratefully. These people were becoming almost like family. With Marcus they talked mostly about work. He was a tough boss, made no exceptions, but always behaved fairly. Maya valued that. She didn't want special treatment. She just wanted to work and prove she could be useful. One evening when almost everyone had left, Marcus came to her office. Maya was finishing a quarterly report. Still here, he was surprised. I want to finish this today, she said without looking up from the screen. Maya, it's 9 at night. Go home. 30 more minutes and it's done. Marcus walked over and looked at the monitor. Very good. You work more than asked. I care that everything is correct. That's admirable. But don't forget to rest. If you burn out, you're no use to anyone. Maya moved away from the computer and looked at him. Marcus, thank you for everything. If not for you. Stop, he interrupted. You did it all yourself. I just opened a door. You gave me something more than a door. You gave me hope. Marcus was quiet for a few seconds. You know, when I saw you for the first time at the gas station, I thought, here is a person who hasn't broken despite everything. And I wasn't wrong. Maya felt her cheeks get warm. I just didn't want to give up. That is strength. They stayed quiet for a moment. Then Marcus smiled. All right. Finish that report. I'll wait and drive you home. No need. I can take the bus. It's late. Don't argue. Maya nodded. 30 minutes later they went down to the car together. Kobe had already left, so Marcus drove. They traveled in silence, but it was a comfortable silence. "How is your mom?" he asked suddenly. "She's good. Call her every week. She's happy things finally worked out. And my brother James too. He wanted to come visit, but I told him I'm managing. Don't want to take time from his family." "I understand," Marcus nodded. They arrived at Maya's building. She opened the car door and turned. "Thank you for the job and everything else. Don't mention it. Get some rest, Maya. Good night." The neighbors in the building turned out to be kind. Rosa, a young mother with 2 kids, often knocked on her door to borrow things. She stayed for tea and they chatted about normal things. Miss Helen, the older neighbor across the hall, sometimes came by with questions. "Maya, who is that man who sometimes brings you home in the car? Handsome. Elegant." "My boss, Miss Helen," Maya laughed. "Oh, I thought he was a boyfriend." "No, just my boss." "What a shame. You need to find a good gentleman." Maya shook her head. She didn't want to think about her personal life yet. She had enough with work and rebuilding herself. Mr. Frank, a retired bus driver, sat in the evenings on the bench in front of the entrance. Sometimes Maya sat next to him. He wasn't much of a talker, but he was good people. One day he told her, "You're a smart young woman. You don't complain. Oh, whine. Good for you." "Thanks, Mr. Frank. You keep going. My son, on the other hand, he's gotten soft. Everything bothers him." Maya smiled. She liked that simple human warmth. One day a letter came. It was from Walsh, the lawyer. He told her that Victor's case was completely closed. All loans in her name were cancelled. There were no more claims against Maya. He also mentioned that Catherine Parks had sued Victor for damages for all the money she spent on him. But since he had nothing, she would hardly get anything back. Maya folded the letter. She didn't care. That story was over. She didn't want to think about it anymore. That same afternoon, at the end of the day, Marcus stopped her. "Maya, I have a proposal." "I'm listening." "In a week I have a business trip. Boston. Meetings with partners. Lisa is on vacation and won't be able to go. Will you come with me? I'll need someone to help with documents and schedule." Maya thought. She had never been to Boston. "I'll do my best to be up to the task." "I'm sure you will be. We fly Monday morning. Return Wednesday. Everything on the company account, of course." "Okay, I accept." The trip to Boston was busy. Meetings, negotiations, contract signings. Maya worked to the max, preparing documents, organizing meetings, controlling schedules. Marcus gave her approving looks several times. Excellent work. The afternoon of the second day, the meetings finished earlier than expected. Marcus proposed, "Maya, we have 3 free hours. Have you ever been to the Boston Museum of Fine Arts?" "No, never." "Then let's go. You can't come to Boston and not see at least one great museum." They went. The museum amazed her. Huge halls, paintings by great masters, old furniture, sculptures. Maya walked mesmerized, unable to look away. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" Marcus asked. "It's incredible," she whispered. "I've never seen anything like it. The world is huge, Maya, and has many interesting things. Don't lock yourself between 4 walls. Live a full life." She looked at him. "You're right. I've lived too long in a cage. It's time to get out." "Exactly." They left the museum as it was getting dark. Marcus suggested dinner at a small restaurant near the harbor. They sat by the window and ordered food. "Maya," Marcus started. "I want to tell you something." "I'm listening." "You've changed a lot these months. You've become more confident, stronger. I'm glad I could help you." "I'm glad too. You changed my life. You changed it yourself. I was just there at the right moment." Maya smiled. "Marcus, can I ask you a personal question?" "Sure." "Why did you ask me to play your wife that day at the gas station?" "The real reason." Marcus stared at the lights of the harbor through the glass for a while. "The truth." I was married 9 years ago. My wife died in a plane crash. Since then I haven't been able to get close to anyone for real. But partners kept saying that for a serious businessman it's good to have a family. That night the Harringtons were coming. Conservative people for whom family is sacred. I decided to cheat and hire an actress. I prepared it all ahead of time. And then I saw you. Freezing. Tired. But not defeated. And I thought, here is a person who will know what it is to play a role to survive. Maya listened, holding her breath. I'm sorry, she said quietly. I'm sorry you lost your wife. Thank you. It was a long time ago. The pain has dulled, but it doesn't disappear completely. I suppose it never goes away entirely. I understand. They stayed quiet for a moment. Then Marcus smiled. Well, enough sadness. Let's toast to new beginnings. They raised their glasses. Maya felt something new born between them. Not just boss and employee. Something more. They returned to Chicago on Wednesday afternoon. Marcus took her home. She got out of the car and turned. Thank you for the trip. It's been unforgettable. Don't mention it. You did a great job. I think you deserve a promotion for real. I'll talk with Lisa. You've earned it. Maya smiled. Went up to her apartment. Sat by the window. Stared at the city at night. She felt warmth and peace in her chest. She no longer feared the future. She believed everything would be okay. A month later they indeed offered a promotion. Marcus's assistant for general operations. The salary went up. Responsibilities too. But she managed. One Friday afternoon when the office was almost empty, Marcus came to her office. Maya, today we can leave work aside. Let's go to dinner. She looked up surprised. Dinner? Just like that? Yes, just like that. Without talking business. Just two people who want to spend the evening in good company. Maya felt her heart speed up. She smiled. Okay, but dessert is on me. Marcus laughed. Deal. They left the office together and got in the car. They rode chatting about light things. The weather. Plans for the weekend. Easy. Natural. No tension. Maya looked out the window and thought about how much her life had changed. 7 months ago she was at a freezing gas station. Exhausted. Crushed by debts and betrayal. And now she was in a car next to a man who had helped her stand up. Who had believed in her. Who had become not only her boss but something more. She didn't know what would happen next. She didn't make long-term plans. She just lived in the present. And for the first time in many years she felt truly happy. The restaurant was small and cozy. A southern food place with live music. They sat at the table. Ordered dinner. Talked about everything and nothing. Laughed. Marcus told stories from his life. Maya told him about her neighbors. When they brought dessert, Maya handed her card to the waiter. My treat. Marcus didn't argue. He smiled. Thank you. Thank you to you. They finished their coffee and went out to the street. It was a mild night. Smelled like spring. Marcus looked at Maya. You know, I'm glad I stopped that day at your gas station. I'm glad too, she smiled. They walked down the street side by side. Two free people with a whole future ahead. Life sometimes deals very hard blows. But those who don't give up, those who fight to the end, always find their way to happiness. Maya had gone through betrayal, humiliation. But she didn't break. She found the strength to start over. Because what matters isn't what happens to you. What matters is how you respond to it. Did you like the story, and which city are you listening from? Let's meet in the comments. If you like the story, you can support me by sending a super thanks so I can keep bringing more stories like this. Thank you so much for your sweet support. I'm looking forward to your comments on the story. On the screen you can see 2 new life stories that I highly recommend. There's so much more on JAMAL'S Stories channel. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next life story with love and respect.